Hello Capricorns, welcome back to the Astroflower, your weekly reading on energy going from the 12th to the 19th, yes, of August. Hope you're doing well. Have you had a good week? I've had a great week as a Capricorn. It's been very busy. I've been, got a lot of things on at the moment, but being able to knock them down one by one, which is really good, helps to be very productive and get results. And this is all to do with that veil that I was talking about 2 weeks ago on the messages from energy. Not this week just gone past, the week before, about the veil being lifted. And this is affecting the way we manifest things. If you haven't seen that, do go and see it on our channel. And it seems to be a lot easier now. But there is a particular way about going about it, and we should have a video on that on our channel coming out at some point over the weekend or the early part of next week. And so the sun has been, the energies that's coming through. There's been a lot of eruptions, but and they have been slightly directed towards Earth, not majorly, and it's producing a lot of air. And that you, as a sign Capricorn, has huge amounts of air. And I think that's helping you to stimulate your future, realizing what works. And when it starts working, you can start pushing on it and seeing how far or how fast you can make it work, as it were, for you. And this is helping out a lot in also on the emotional front of keeping us very stable and stable and steady in the emotional side of life. You can see that in the Astroflower, on your elements on the Astroflower. But we're going to be going into the messages from energy, get a chakra sequencing, and also pull a few cards for you. Let's just see what's going on for the energy now. Oh yeah, one last thing I was going to say. From next week, I will be channeling the answers of 2 questions. If you've got a question you want asking, can you please put it in the comments of this video, and I will answer that through channeling next week. So yeah, if you've got an answer, if you've got a question, sorry, try and keep it, straight. Don't write 4 or 5 pages of a question. Try and keep it very precise as a question. It would be a lot easier. Okay. And I think you'll get better results out of the answers. So yes, so that's for next week. Let's get on with this week here, and let's see what's going on. Connecting to the energy that are around you here at the moment. Very nice energy, very solid, it's got a lot of force without explosion, if you know what I mean. It's a bit like, it's like when you're doing the jack on your car to lift your car up to change your wheel. You're going quickly here, but this permanent force that's being put on the world around you is pushing everything sort of like out of your way. That's what the energy seems to be. It's almost like the energy is kind of going, we've got you. You just push and we'll keep pushing as well. And it's lifting a huge weight from your shoulders by the looks of things. And this could be down to a great success for, financial world, or even in the relationship side, or even in the spiritual side of life. Whichever it is, it's making for a great force, a consistent force for perpetual growth. That's what it looks like. Let's just see what there's in the way of messages from the energy for you. General messages here. I get this person that's going on a long journey, is prepared to do the long haul, looking for results, things that work, rather than just sort of making money. It doesn't seem like that. It's just sort of kind of, there has to be a lot of purpose for it. In this world here, we've set up a monetary system. It's not at all like energy. Money is nothing like energy. I do not like that comparison at all, personally, simply because I know how fantastic energy is, and I know how dirty money can be. So it's like you've got if you're running a business or you're running a project or going after a career or something like that, what you're looking for is good results within the business, the job, and what have you. And that will automatically bring money to you without you having to worry about making money, if you know what I mean. Going for excellence, quality rather than quantity, I think will be a lot better for you, Capricorn. Very, very solid energies. But it's got this person that doesn't have they're not carrying a great deal, but what they are carrying is worth its weight in gold, as it were. And you seem to be carrying this experience or this understanding that is really, really solid for you going forward. Let's just see what's going, and that could be in the relationship side as much as in the financial side. It doesn't necessarily either way. The energy there is just really solid with you. Let's just see what's going on in the financial world. Okay, there's definitely signing a contract sort of thing. There's this either accepting a job or accepting a loan to start a business or signing a rental agreement or it seems to be that sort of thing. There seems to be travel involved as well. With some, yeah, there seems to be travel involved, and that doesn't necessarily mean for the majority, it could well mean physical travel. So you may get a job in a new area, so you have to travel until you find a place. And that could be that sort of location, that sort of rental sort of agreement that you're signing or something like that. But for a lot of people, it could well be sort of like voyaging through you're ready to take off in your dreams and your desires as well on that sort of side. As I said earlier on, I was just looking at the financial sort of side of it all. The financial sort of side, it's like people are passing you money and you're just putting it in your back pocket. And people just keep passing you money, just keep putting it in your back pocket. It's not that you're looking for it at all. It doesn't seem like that at all. What you're looking for is the adventure of creating something and seeing it working. That's what it seems to be like. And it could be just the beginning of the journey. It could be this moment where you're at work and you just kind of go, do you know what? I'd like to do that as a business. Do you know what? I can do that as a business. And, it's that whole going off on a journey sort of aspect for you financially this week. It bodes incredibly well. Very, very well for you, Capricorn, on the financial sort of side. Let's just see what's going on the relationship side. Obviously, I come from the UK, and sometimes it can be very bad weather here. Today is fantastic because we're in the summertime. But if you imagine, a beach, right? And then I say to you, a beach in Scotland. All of a sudden, your mind's gone from, Caribbean beach in Scotland, big waves, raining possibly, very cold, that sort of thing. And all I'm saying is that there is periods of life where you've got a beach in Scotland, which is very beautiful, by the way. If you ever want to go to a really beautiful beach, do go to Scotland. There are amazing beaches up there. A lot of people do surfing up there in their wetsuits and everything, But there's times of life where you get a Scottish beach, and there's times of life when you get the Caribbean beach. This is the Caribbean beach moment. This is a moment, this is where I think it's distilled your emotions, and you're very happy with your emotions this week here. It helps you because you're being very stimulated mentally. Because you're being stimulated with ideas and stuff like that, it's occupying you, so you don't really have to sort of like, you know, get in the confrontation of emotions. So it's really good, and especially when things start working for you as well. You become one of the most generous people in the world. Not that you're not generous, but you're a lot more relaxed about it all, especially what's been happening over the last 20 years for Capricorn. It's going to seem like paradise for you by the looks of things. Certainly in the relationship side, I see this Caribbean beach with like a couple, and just being in the presence of the other person is just enough. and just enjoying, maybe snorkeling, or, standing around in the waves, just watching the beautiful fish or whatever it is, and it's just very, very relaxed. So if you want to, I think you're going to be working loads, but if you want to, in your relationship side, just get into being there with that person. I think even if it's just a friend, or family or community or what have you, just be really present in that moment. And I think you will find life incredibly satisfying. It will almost make your victories on your financial side even more valuable. You know, um, let's have a look on the relationship, on the spiritual side of life. Okay, let's see what we get from the way of energy from that. What is that? There's like this vortex coming from you, in the sense that you're starting, not that you're starting, your hunches. This is what it's more like. Your, you might think, oh, do you know what? I think the world's like that, and you may not have had the proof in the past, but now you're getting confirmation of the way in which you approach your spiritual practices in life, or just spiritual being, or your quest for your spirit upon this plane. You're connecting the higher and lower worlds, and you are the connection, the filament that goes between the two. And that's like a messenger. You're becoming a messenger spiritually in life around you. And it could be very simple, of having the right answer when someone has got a problem and they're explaining it to you, and you will have that right answer, and it makes you feel, ordained in a way. Probably that's probably the best thing that comes out of it. Ordained. Yeah, you're being ordained in the spiritual sort of sense, which is beautiful. Beautiful, Capricorn. Absolutely lovely. So let's get on to the chakra sequencing and see what's going on there. Okay, we've got the first connection there. We've got the crown and the root, both incredibly relaxed. Exactly the same sort of thing as we saw on the messages from energy this week here. The consciousness and the righteous path is set in a way, so you don't really have to sort of like pay too much attention to that. Although your root chakra is beautifully energetic, so it's looking at a transition and that movement and stuff like that, which is movement, could be moving house and or traveling and so forth. It's moving on now, and this is where it does come into the third eye and the throat chakra. And I would say the throat chakra is emotional, and the third eye is much more impartial in a way, where it should be. And it seems like you're finding a good mix between the amount of mental stimulation that you do, and rather than overthinking things, just thinking it to a certain level, but then allowing that space and that time for your emotions to grow and the communication to happen between you and others. And that's why I think you're going to enjoy the here and now. I think it's going to be an incredibly satisfying week for you, actually, Capricorn. Let's just see where it moves on to now. Moving on to the solar plexus, and that's all those things that are getting done. I think once you start getting that stability, or you feel that comfort within your relationship or spiritual side of life, all of a sudden, when you're working for your financial or material side of life, you're really there. You're no longer distracted, or you're no longer trying too hard, end up doing 80 hours and not having the other side. There's a real balance that comes between the two. And this solar plexus knows when to apply the force here within your workspace, or within doing things and getting things done. Really lovely. And then it goes back to the crown and the root. Very simple chakra sequencing this week here for a lot of people. And it is, that's what the manifestation thing that I've been talking about. It's the simplicity which is the key. The simpler you keep it, the more you can manifest. Okay, so really beautiful chakra sequencing. Let's just put a few cards on that and see what's going on, shall we? With the tarot cards. So yeah, we'll put a few cards on the financial side, the relationship side, the emotional side, and then just a couple on what's going on within you as well, how you sort of sew it all together. So on the financial side, look at that, Two of Cups. Yeah, I think you are falling in love with life. I think you're falling in love with what you're doing. And as I was saying, you know, quality rather than quantity, enjoying the success, enjoying creating something, connecting with your higher self. That's that whole vortex thing I was talking about, connecting with another person at the beach. It's the ensemble, I think, here. And your financial side is really playing the part. Look at that. My most favourite card in the pack, the Hierophant, and the Two of Cups. This could well be marriage, people. This could well be marriage. And you may have found the person that you ultimately want to be with. This is also a question of ordinance. So it's ordaining, you're being ordained into the priesthood, as it were, or into, becoming a spiritual wise person in accordance to the physical side of life. Because that's what the Hierophant does. And the Hierophant knows the steps that they need to take in order to get to the good stuff. But that's on your financial side. I think that financial side being a lot more secure, being a lot more solid, is going to help you open up on all other fronts in a very beautiful way. And it depends where you're starting from in life, obviously. Someone who's not making any money at all of a sudden making 3,000 a month, they'll kind of think, I'm actually pretty secure. But, it depends where you start from, basically. And it's all relative. But yeah, it goes really well. What's going on the relationship side? Look at this. It doesn't stop. You get the Knight of Wands. Being in the here and now will allow you to open up your passions, apparently. And it will give you a sense of going on. It's like a mission to connect with people on a much deeper level. And when we connect with people on a much deeper level, we tend to know that person for a lot longer period of time. And it's you're connecting in a very sort of, in a very beautiful big way, very, with lots of passions there. And look at that. You get the Three of Pentacles. Three of Pentacles is the recognition of one's own excellence, first things first, and then recognizing the excellence of others. But at the same time, that person recognizing the excellence in the other is because they're recognizing your excellence. And then the pair of you can recognize our excellence. And this is where you're connecting with a lot of people that are around you in excellent sort of like here and now moments within the relationship world. Really beautiful. Just see what the energy is coming through for you. World card. Everything, this is a whole new way of living for you. And it doesn't necessarily mean, I think finance is going to change enormously, yeah. But it's not just that that's going to change. It's also an attitude and an engagement in life that's going to change. Five of Wands. Five of Wands, if you can see on this, you've got these four wands here, these four people here. And if you know about tarot cards, the Four of Wands is the unison between one plan, your plan, and another person's plan. It's marriage card as well, bringing two plans together. And the Five of Wands is how you, as this person here, is extracting yourself from an old union that was chaotic. And I think this union could have been with your own spiritual engagement, with your own joyful engagement with the world around you. You're completely changing an attitude because the situation around you is changing by the looks of things in a very, very positive way. So there you go, Capricorn. Thanking you very much for being here. I hope you get the best out of these readings. Thanking you very much for having the confidence to in our channel to subscribe, like, and share. And it's always beautiful to hear the comments. Don't forget about those questions as well. Also got the messages from energy and all the other energy videos that we do on this channel. I will see you soon. In the meantime, don't forget, life should be fun. So please do enjoy.